get into. We have to start with the Guardians, obviously, who opened their season, 2024 season, in impressive fashion last night. 8-0, they beat the Oakland A's. Does it count as a full win because the A's look like a minor league team? I checked the standings this morning. They are indeed 1-0. Yes. So apparently Major League Baseball counts that as a full win. I'm going to start with you, Bull, because you teased this to open the show.
Yeah.
What do they need to do in this 10-game road trip to start the season to create some buzz coming home for their home opener on April 8th?
The reality is, Jay and you and I are diehard baseball fans, so we're locked in. But for the more casual fan, in this town, the Browns own the town. So for the Cavs and the Guardians, you got to do something special to get the casual fan. And to get the casual fan after an offseason where the most money they spent was on Austin Hedges, a backup catcher, for $4 million, you got to start on the road and have a great road trip. So if they could go, and they can, especially starting with Oakland, like they better win at least 3, if not sweep the whole series against Oakland. If they go 6-4, but really, if they go 7-3, 8-2, or God, 9-1, something crazy.
Oh, this town would go nuts if
Bananas.
they come home 9-1.
Then you come home. The women's Final Four had just been here. You got opening day. You got the eclipse. Everybody's in a great mood. Hopefully the weather's finally getting nice. If the Guardians can capitalize that, especially if they win opening day, a lot of people, casual fans, build momentum off the home opener.
They do.
And if there'll be buzz coming into the first homestand and a lot of excitement. But they got to play great on this road trip, and they got off to a great start.
It's so important.
Yeah.
Not just for Stephen Vogt, who's now starting his career as a manager, but as you said, bring some buzz, bring some energy. What's your answer to that question?
Well, since you stole my 7-3 line, I'm going to go ahead and say, listen, the magic number is 6. If you can be putting up over 6 runs a game, I think you'll get 6 people excited about what you're doing, because the natural thought process is that the Guardians don't have sticks. There's nobody to really drive in runs, hit the long ball. If you can score 6 runs a game and you can have guys hitting home runs and putting the ball in play. Last night, everybody that got in that was on the lineup card got a hit except for one. That shows that, you do have some capable hitters. If you could keep that up going into, these next 3 series and then come home and show people when you wake up in the morning getting ready for the coffee, I know they played at 10 o'clock, but hold up. Dang, the Guardians got 6, 7, they got 8 runs, 9 runs. That's what we like to see to get that excitement going when they get back home.
Unfortunately, by the way, they might get rained out tonight. It's supposed to rain in Oakland all day
bad
today.
weatd.
Let's hope that doesn't. Game a little earlier tonight, 9:40 instead.
Yeah, which means we won't have to be as tired on Saturday when we get to sleep in as we will. I'm kind of dragging today, but you said this earlier. At least it was a quick game.
It was.
It was nice and tidy, 2.5 hours. We didn't have to stay up until after 1 o'clock to watch it finish. My bar's pretty high here because, Bull, you mentioned that we're diehards.
Yeah.
If they came home anything but 3-7 and worse, I'm super excited.
Yeah.
To me, the bare minimum is you have to have a winning record.
No doubt.
You have to have a winning record. Now, that's a tough ask because, as you know, the West Coast road trip, 10 games that's a tough mountain to climb.
Yep.
The good thing is there was no body clock readjustment. Like normally, if you're playing New York or you end a series here in Cleveland and then you start a road trip in Oakland, the first game, your bodies haven't adjusted.
Yep.
By the second game, there's still lag.
Right.
And then maybe by the third game, you're up and going. That's why teams typically start these West Coast swings with a couple of losses. They're able to go in there with their bodies are already on West Coast time.
Right.
Training in Arizona. So there's no excuse. They should win at least 3 of 4 from the A's.
Yeah.
But if I could write my dream scenario, here's what it would be. First and foremost, you have to have complete health from the starting pitchers. Already their bullpen has some nagging injuries, some dings here and there.
Yep.
And that's a little worrisome. These guys last year, like Carlos Carrasco wasn't even on the club. It's great to see he's back. But when you look at Bieber and McKenzie, who to me are the 1 and the 2 in this lineup, they spent most of last season hurt. An injury to one of these guys in the first 10 games is going to be like popping the balloon. The air's going to be out. We're going to say, here we go again.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that even though I wanted to see him pitch 7 innings, I like the fact that Shane Bieber only went 6, had a low pitch count. You can stretch him out gradually. I like what Stephen Vogt's going to do there. Keep these guys healthy.
Yeah.
Win 7 of 10. A dream scenario is if they win 8 and 10, they're the lead story for everybody in town.
And real quick, to your point, you're 100% right about the injury because, for my other team, the Cubs, I have similar expectations for the Cubs as the Guardians. I think they're both around the 500 team, maybe a little better. Yesterday, the Cubs lost their opener, and their best pitcher, Justin Steele, got hurt. He's going to go on the IL. I'm already in a sour mood about them. Yes.
You feel sick.
Yes.
And that's the way we started last year with Bieber, because they had the injuries early.
And that's
McKenzie
how you got to avoid that. Got to avoid that.
So avoid the injuries. Start on a nice tear. Worst case scenario, you've got to be 500. You've got to be 500.
Worst case,
because 4 of these 10 are against a team that really looks like a minor league club.
Now, Seattle's good, and they got good pitching.
They do.
That's a series,
Take a split. Take 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Just, you got to come home with a winning record. Okay, next up, Earl surprised me with this, so I already know his take on this. But I thought it was a fascinating question. The question, as it was sent to us in our rundown this morning or last night, you can pick one of the 2 to be your franchise cornerstone. And you need both, really, to win a Super Bowl. You need that cornerstone coach and that cornerstone quarterback. Patriots did it for years with Brady and Belichick. Chiefs are doing it now with Reed and Mahomes. But you can only pick one. Are you taking Deshaun Watson or are you taking Kevin Stefanski?
This is easy. Coaches and players play. Like, I love the fact that you're a coach and you can dial some things up, but there's 7, 8, 9, 10 other coaches on the roster that do things. Like, say, for instance, you're a coach and you're a head coach and you don't call the plays. So on the day-to-day, you do what? You motivate people.
Well, you're the CEO of the program.
You're the CEO.
You're picking the point on the horizon.
So I don't know very many CEOs that can do it without that quarterback.
Okay.
At the end of the day, Deshaun Watson has not played up to where he is. But if you take a look at it and you say Kevin Stefanski, he's not calling the plays, I've seen Mike Prefer get a playoff win. I'm not diminishing it, but I've seen coaches win in this league. To me, there's only a couple of coaches that are at the top of the food chain where you say, I value what they bring to a team outside of, just calling the plays.
Right.
That they're that high that I'm going to take them over a player, especially a quarterback.
That's fair.
Obviously, the quarterback is way more important than the head coach. To me, there's no debate there. But on this team specific, here's what I know. I know I have a very good head coach, or at least I believe we have a very good head coach. No, he's not Andy Reid. He's not Bill Belichick. That's unrealistic.
Well, they weren't either 3 years into their careers.
Right now, but I know he's a really good coach.
Right.
I don't know that I have a really good quarterback. I don't know that.
Right.
I know Deshaun Watson was a very good quarterback, but the last time he was a very good quarterback was 2000. That's a long time ago now.
2000?
No, 2020.
I did the same thing yesterday. And it was 2020.
Yeah.
I don't know what he is as a quarterback now. We could play all the gymnastics we want. He was 4-1, the second half Ravens. If you're being real with yourself, you know he hasn't been a very good quarterback since 2020.
Yeah.
So until I see that, if you told me that Deshaun Watson this year was going to be the Deshaun Watson from 2020, I'd pick Deshaun Watson. But I don't know that he's ever going to be that guy again. I'm concerned that he won't be at this point, and so I would take Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I also agree with your initial part of that take that the quarterback is the bigger piece. Is it 70-30 quarterback coach, 60-40? I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know that your odds of winning a Super Bowl go up dramatic if you have stalwarts in both.
Yes.
You can win one with just one of the 2. But look at the last 15, 20. Go back to the Patriots. Like, it's predominantly they had both.
Yes.
But if I have to pick one, to me this was easy. Number one, the shelf life of a coach is far longer than the shelf life of a great quarterback. A good coach can coach in this league 25 years. Belichick has been around longer than that. Now he's out of the league, but so to me, the coach can go through 2 or 3 different quarterbacks in his tenure. Also, I don't know how many MVP awards Deshaun Watson has. By my count, it's none. But Kevin Stefanski is a 2-time NFL head coach of the year.
This is blasphemous.
Yeah, I don't think that's a fair.
Blasphemous.
I don't think that's a fair comparison.
What's wrong with that?
Because if you ask today, do you want Deshaun Watson? If Deshaun Watson was suspended the whole entire year, or Kevin Stefanski was suspended the whole entire year, which do you think would affect the Browns the most? You can't even. It's not debatable.
No, I agree with that, but that's in the micro. That's one season.
But he could get fired in the macro.
No, but this was the cornerstone of a franchise. So my assumption, by the way the question was worded, was the cornerstone, not for a minute.
You agree that if the last 2 years we had Houston Deshaun you'd pick Deshaun.
You know, I'm not sure that I would because,
I would, definitely.
again, Deshaun comes with a shelf life, a definitive shelf life. Like these guys, forget Tom Brady. He was the outlier of all outliers. The shelf life of a great quarterback is 38 to 40 years old. And I'm talking about your Hall of Fame quarterbacks. By all accounts, how many quarterbacks have 10 years of tenure with their team right now? Very, very few.
Right, but
so what I'm saying is,
I think the great
I'm
quarterback.
looking at it, and I get your argument. Like next year, who do you want? Well, yeah, I need a great quarterback in the micro, but I'm talking franchise cornerstone. I'm talking 25 years. Deshaun Watson's going to be a memory. Right. Long before that time comes up. Kevin Stefanski could still be coaching the Cleveland Browns.
I hear you.
It's unlikely, but it's possible.
I mean, Kevin Stefanski could also be Marvin Lewis.
He could
gets
be.
To the playoffs and never wins.
You're right.
I flipped you, bull. You're on my side.
No, you're right. I mean, he's 0-2 in playoffs.
The only reason I'm picking Stefanski is because I don't have full faith in Watson right now. That's it.
Right.
If I had faith in Watson,
and that's part of my argument too.
If you told me, you know that. I mean, you tell me Andy Reid or Patrick Mahomes, I'm taking Patrick Mahomes, and I think Andy Reid's the best coach in football. Of course. But I'm taking Patrick Mahomes any day of the week.
Right, and that's it all weighs into my answer too. We haven't seen MVP Deshaun Watson in Cleveland.
No.
For a minute, we saw that in Houston. I haven't seen it during his time in Cleveland. I have seen Kevin Stefanski do his job by the voters in the league.
Yeah.
Top in the league 2 out of his 4 seasons.
My only argument with that is that award goes to the most surprising success, not the best team.
I mean, it is called the Coach of the Year.
I hear you.
It's not the most surprising Coach of the Year.
But that's who they always vote for.
It tends to go to the coach that overachieved.
Right.
Based on what he was given, he seems to do his best work under adversity. I want you to make your point because you teased it at the top.
So for me, the question was cornerstone. Kevin Stefanski, to me, is one of the pillars of the culture change for the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
You alluded to the fact that, you know, NFL stands for not for long. The average playing career is 3.5 years.
Right.
We've seen Kevin Stefanski with numerous different players on this team
succeed.
Because he's a leader of men, because he played a significant role in the culture change. Is why I'm picking Kevin Stefanski.
All right, very good.
Now, he hasn't succeeded enough. You got to win when it matters.
I need more, too. But right now, I'm comparing what Deshaun Watson has done. Yeah, Stefanski's done more.
Much better.
All right, quickly, I want to tell you about our other offerings here with the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We have the Ultimate Cavs Sports Show. That is with hosts Mikey McNugget and Jason Lloyd. The Ultimate Browns Sports Show. Our man G. Bush leads the parade there. And now the Ultimate Guardian Sports Show. That has Zach Meisel and Adam the Bull. You're not going to find a better panel. And before we go to break, you can tease your show because it's 4 different shows that we offer.
And then you got the Ultimate 216 show with me that gives you Cleveland sports, life, and culture, where we highlight people in the city of Cleveland that's actually doing something positive.
What else can you ask for? When we